Great. This next headline is Spatial. Collaborate with lifelike avatars in VR, AR, web. So Spatial is a new company that's creating a new 3D type of collaborative video chat in VR and AR that uses lifelike avatars. So users can collaborate in virtual meetings using images, videos, and 3D models. What's interesting about this is instead of using cartoony avatars like we're used to today in a lot of VR environments, users appear more like holograms with real faces, including motion sensors that track your head and hand movements, and even lip motions that are key to their voices. Spatial Web works with a number of different headsets, including the Oculus Quest, which is also interesting, where previously these type of holographic experiences were only available in sort of like multi-$1,000 headsets like the Microsoft one or the Magic Leap. So question to you all to kick things off: is AR VR virtual conferencing the future of work and collaboration? Do the benefits of it outweigh the disadvantages? What are the thoughts there?
Okay, so I may, as the software investor here, be behind the times, but at least my experience with quarantine, and we worked all over the place before this, is that the prime productivity comes from not sitting next to people. Like literally being in a space with other people, even if it's virtual, isn't distracting to me. And so I personally I think AR VR could be really cool for certain aspects of collaboration, but as like a place where you, like a virtual office where you spend all of your day there and kind of like bump in and out based on what you have for meetings, like to me, that's a recipe for less productivity, at least for the way I work. And so I don't know if we'll see like full, at least my opinion is we probably won't see full virtual like offices where you're spending your entire time in like in a virtual room together.
Yeah, I agree. I think there might be some edge cases where it might make sense. But I think that like, I for sure have the whole Zoom fatigue thing, right? But I think that there's a lot of like other better or like alternative solutions, whether it be like Loom or Yak Chat, for example, that have like an interesting, like it's an alternative to like sitting down and having that Zoom meeting, but I think it gets to like a similar endpoint, just like an alternative to, I guess, like a conference call in the first place. I think that's more interesting rather than trying to, I guess, recreate like what we know as like a conference call. Like think of like where conference calls of the future may be more efficient and better, rather than just saying, okay, we know like what sitting around a boardroom table is like, let's just put that into AR, VR.
That said, there could be some really cool use cases, especially if you're working on physical products.
Yeah.
Or something like if you're working on hardware or anything like that, where if you're in a virtual like collaborative experience together, you could actually work on something that's in theory physical without having to actually be physically with the item, or not having everyone be physically with the item. And to me, that's like, that could be completely revolutionary in terms of how we hire talent around the world. If we could all work on something physical together, but from all over the place without having to relocate, that's really pretty incredible. I see it less for me.
Yeah, agreed.
I worked in offices briefly, and I feel like the annoying part was I don't like going to commute, and especially if there's something I can do at home. So I like the idea of a virtual meeting, but I agree, like if this is, I wouldn't like being in a virtual office all day. Like that sounds, I mean, I have four Zoom meetings today, and it just feels annoying that I have to yell at my computer 4 times today. So I don't enjoy that, but I definitely see, like, I thought it would be cool to do like a virtual dance club.
I would join your virtual dance club for sure.
As would I.
You can have your friends that are in another state or another country just be like, hey, meet me, and you get a DJ and you get to listen to your music and dance at home, but also hang out with your friends at the same time.
Totally. Would totally do.
I mean, it looks like we're having some sort of cocktail party here in the promo image that I used. I don't know if this is like a work happy hour or what.
There's a lot going on in the image.
Yeah.
To be fair to them, the other images that I looked on their website were Kate, more of the type of use cases that you spoke to. I think for like your typical run-of-the-mill meeting, getting everyone to like put on a headset, like dial in and like be there in like holographic form is probably more than is needed. But they're probably like, if you're doing like a design sprint and you want to like look at certain elements, and especially if they are like 3D elements and you're doing product, that's kind of cool. But it feels super edgy. I mean, I don't know how you build a big business on something that people use sporadically and only some companies use, unless Sarah's Zoom dance parties take off. I mean, there's something interesting there.
I will say it would also be another really cool use case for it potentially. I mean, maybe this is less relevant when the world eventually opens back up, but for virtual conferences, when having breakout rooms or having like small sessions, being able to actually physically be in a space with people, I think is part of what makes a conference really exciting. And so for those kinds of events, it could be quite cool to do something like that. But yeah.
I suspect that we're going to want to get back to in-person conferences as soon as possible, right? We're all missing that human interaction.
And the free cocktails.
Yes, yes. And lukewarm coffee. Great, we'll move on. Cartoonist, you got something funny for us?
Yeah.
Nice.
There we go. Can you guys see that? I kind of just imagined our team doing that. I repurposed that little guy for a really mean coworker. And then lastly, my first thought goes to not paying attention.
Using your powers for good.
Mhm.
All right, awesome. Thank you.